Welcome to the Heart of Real Estate podcast with Mike McFarland and Steven Salinas with the Mortgage Mike Group. On the podcast, Mike and Steven discuss with top producing real estate agents what makes them successful, unique, and purpose-filled. Each episode holds a key to unlocking a door to financial freedom.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the Heart of Real Estate podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you're new to the podcast, feel free to like and subscribe just so you don't miss any podcasts. They're going to be coming out in the future. Podcasts, we drop one every Friday.
Yeah.
So keep a lookout for those. My name is Steven Salinas. I'm one of the podcast hosts. I got my partner here,
Mike McFarland, another one of the podcast hosts. So,
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You're listening to the right podcast if you're interested in creating raving fans for life.
Yes.
Right? And we have a special guest with us today, Natasha Balasek. How are you doing, Natasha?
Good. Thank you. Thanks
Good.
for having me.
Good. Thank you for coming.
Thanks
on
for
our
making the
show.
trip.
Yeah, definitely.
I know you almost didn't make it because the traffic here.
Houston traffic is fun.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We learned to live with
There's a great meme I saw, and it said, I'm like I-45. I'm always a work in progress.
That goes for every freeway in this city, right?
We're all I-45.
Yeah, we are.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Well, no, thanks so much for coming. Really, I think whenever Mike and I were preparing for the podcast, we were just really impressed at, the way that you carry yourself in business. I think people have a lot to learn with how you work, how you operate in teams, how you've made the transition in your career to being like a luxury specialist now. We're excited just to kind of hear your journey. Tell us a little bit about just your journey. I know I'd love to kind of hear where you started, where you at now, and what are some words of wisdom you could share with our guests.
Sure. It's funny, as I'm listening to you say that, I'm going, yeah, it's been a 16-year journey. Words of wisdom. I'm turning 40 this year, so I feel like I can actually give wisdom now. I feel like I've earned it with the number maybe. But yeah, 16 years in real estate.
Wow.
I started at a boutique brokerage, and before I got into real estate, I worked for apartment luxury homes.
Okay.
And it was pretty much the only one in the Clear Lake area at the time. And when I decided to get into real estate, I was like, who has the most luxury listings? That's who I'm going to go work with. And so I did. So I went to boutique brokerage, and I was there for 7.5 years. And then I decided to open up my own brokerage.
Okay.
And wanted to have a luxury boutique brokerage. And at that time, social media was starting to really pick up. And, when I got into real estate, there was no Blackberries, there was no email on your phones. It was faxing, and things kept evolving.
No TikTok.
No TikTok. We had
no.
MySpace though.
Okay, there you go.
So that was happening. And as I saw that, I thought, okay, we need more social media presence, or just a presence at all.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided to branch off on my own and do some of the things that I thought were needed to
Great.
keep evolving with everything that was going on. And then I was there. I had my own brokerage for 4 years. And then I decided to join a company that asked me to come on and be their broker and a part owner of that company. And then I was there for 4 years, and then I recently decided to go to EXP. And again, keeping up with things that are evolving, keeping up with what is a model that we need to adapt, or you might fall off of.
Wow.
Right.
And I've heard a lot of teams, a lot of people making that move to EXP. I'm really curious. Why EXP?
They do a lot of things different.
Okay.
And I think think about what has happened in the past 3 years.
Mm.
How many times have we had to pivot and change what we're doing,
How
we're doing it, and just as we start getting like, okay, I've got this. Nope, change it again.
Just kidding.
Particularly in your world, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, they're
We're
doing
like,
what now? What's happening?
No, I just made a video about this. Now I got to backtrack.
Exactly.
That's so true.
Yeah, take it back. And so, yes, EXP is doing things. So one thing there's multiple reasons why I left. There's not just one single reason, right? Multiple things had to make sense because I've been with a big company. I've had my own company. You kind of take what you know worked and didn't work, and I scrutinized EXP. I really did. And, I talked to their president and CMO and Veronica Figueroa in depth, and it had to make sense. And I asked them some tough questions, and I kept going, gosh, they're making it really hard to like say no. Because there was another company I was considering as well.
Okay.
And anyway, just to let you know, like to put things into perspective, if I can, the other company offered me quite a bit of money to go on with them.
Okay.
And EXP was not. And I chose EXP.
Wow.
That's just a lot.
It does. And so, you know, when you look at their revenue share, you know, where they give money back to the agents, it's guaranteed money, by the way. So if someone is under you and you're downline and they sell something, you are guaranteed to, you know, have some revenue share.
Right.
Then there's stock options. You can purchase at a discounted rate off of every commission, and you can be rewarded. You can be awarded stocks from EXP.
Right.
There's
an ownership.
There's two, exactly. And you're not having to be at the office all day, every day, 9 to 5 to make money from the company, right? Or have the company pay you money.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've got great support. The technology is amazing. So the fact that if you have a question, there's always someone available. You just hop on and you can either speak to them or text it.
Yeah.
So you have options, right?
Love it.
It's pretty virtual. You know, you can do it from wherever.
You can do it from wherever. You know, typically we do it from our phone anyway, but you're texting someone or calling someone, but you're not going to get they're out to lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, they're on vacation. In this
Well,
real
what do I
estate
do?
market,
You're like, what do you mean?
We know how hard we're working, right? So to
Right.
have someone available when you need them is
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need multiple people. You know, if one person goes down, it can't just derail everything.
right.
Yeah.
Right, especially with impatient realtors. I mean, y'all don't know.
They'll keep
anything about
calling.
We
They'll,
wouldn't
call,
know that.
they'll get to somebody.
Right.
Maybe the president of the company.
So just so many things. And I looked at the company as a whole, how they operate. And then I looked at things from a selfish perspective, right? How is this beneficial to me?
Yeah.
And then how would this be beneficial if I brought a friend? If I had a friend that wanted to join? Is this a place I'd want to bring a friend to join? That's really important too.
Yeah.
And so it all made great sense. And I will say, I had an opportunity years ago to join in a position. And the other day my husband said, what would have happened, do you think, if you would have taken that position? And I was like, I can't go there.
Yeah.
I can't go there. You just have to trust that everything worked how it was supposed to.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether it's
timing
how
is
we
perfect.
agreed it should have gone or not. But I'm glad that I'm at EXP now. And I don't know, but maybe I could have or should have come sooner. But I'm here now, and I think it's been 7 months now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I feel like now I can actually say this has been my experience.
Right.
You know, when agents first make a change, I'm like, hey, as I always did, hey, tell me how it is in 6 months.
Right.
Tell me how it is later. Of course, you're excited now. You're in your honeymoon period. Tell me later once once you've gotten some sales done, and how is the transition and how is everything going? And I've just been really impressed. But it also really I have to give a shout out though to Veronica Figueroa. She, you know, not only did she was very influential in bringing me on, but she's reachable. Like I can reach out to her at any time, whether it be for business advice, life advice. And she always has someone's contact that she can share. This person does this really well. Here, reach out to them. They've got,
What a resource.
I'm great, but they're better.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty valuable too.
Heck yeah.
So that makes a big difference. And
It
that was
does.
another thing too, why EXP? Well, if I'm going to make the change, I'm going to go under the number one person at EXP. That's her. So
Yeah.
that was a big point too for me.
Yeah. And you really, I mean, you attached to somebody that's, you know, a little bit further down the line than you, and now you can kind of hang on their
for sure.
coattails and
she's so
learn from them.
influential in multiple ways though. You know, her sales are great, but she would never want to just talk about her sales. Like she wants to talk about people's lives and, you know, are they taking care of themselves? Like she's just such a great person, and that matters. I like that she's a great person who happens to be really good at doing real estate.
Yeah.
So.
That kind of goes into how you manage your network, right? I know we'd love to kind of get into, you know, why you call, you know, your your group a network versus a group or a team? Because you mentioned she really values like how you're doing personally, not just the sales.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've got a couple meetings on your calendar each week that's maybe focused on sales, and then also there's another meeting that focuses on the individual and how they're doing. Is it the inspiration?
Yeah. So our group, we have masterminds that start off, first thing Monday morning, it's accountability. And then there's a mastermind. So Monday you're coming in just like ready to go, right?
What time on Monday?
So 8 a.m. is accountability.
Okay.
And then 11 a.m. is the mastermind.
Great.
Cool. And that's that's something that Veronica started. So she's got that going. And then Thursday we do inspiration. Tuesday we do our in-person. So that's when we all come together. Thursday's our inspiration meeting. And then Friday's our weekly wins, where we're just celebrating our wins for the week. So push hard on Monday. Friday, just be happy to be alive.
Right.
And let's celebrate.
Thursday is a good inspiration call day because you're kind of just like, man,
I need some.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm at the end of my rope.
I like the fact that you've scheduled in community in the network, right? So you've got the Integrity Network, which is really your group, right? You and your group of agents that are with you, the network of agents that are with you.
I know it's hard to not use the word group.
Network of agents. I love that network word. And I love how you've just anchored in those connection and community points, right? Because that you're not alone. This isn't just about business. This is about the whole person. I think you said something about you want good people. What was the quote? Oh, gosh, Doug, I'm going to lose it. Sorry, Natasha. You told us. I wrote it
Good people that happen to be able to sell real estate.
Thank you very much. That's what it is, right?
That's
so
great.
when you're really looking at of course, you know that you have a well-rounded person, and now all you have to do is equip them, right? Let's just equip them to sell real estate, and you equip them in the network, and then you give them support, and you wrap that around them. So I think it's really that's a unique thing. I don't think we hear it or see that a lot, where you're taking every day of the week to honor and pour into somebody, right? Instead of like a Tuesday meeting, which is typical. Right?
Yeah, right. So the Tuesday meetings where we come together, the Thursday and Friday is virtual, through Zoom. However, Fridays, we've just added in something else since I last spoke to you, actually. So Friday, our weekly wins, the first Friday of the month is going to be in person to celebrate our weekly wins. And then we brought in somebody that is going to do essentially like a beginner's yoga session. So it's let's celebrate our wins and bring a yoga mat and let's all do some stretching and get ready for the weekend.
Cool.
And then one of our Tuesday meetings I recently booked for us to do an introduction to meditation. So teaching agents how to meditate. And we're going to do sound bowls, and I'm really excited about that.
You have a meditation room at the, is that what it's called?
Zen room.
Your Zen room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people go into the Zen room if they're having one of those crazy transactions or something, they go and sit in there and
we've got the essential oil diffuser, we've got the water, the candles, and
and the lighting.
There is no light, right? We have lamps that are colored lamps and no cell phones, but you just go in there and you just unplug from everything. And that's so needed because, as we know, everything's just chaos with life and real estate. We love this business, but my goodness, it keeps us busy. So
Stephen, I think we just got to the heart of Natasha right there with your care. We're going to transition into client care, but this is just your network care, the people that you're entrusted with, right, that are around you, and the care and the thought that you put into their life, creating a space for them to unwind their health.
No, it's important. I think, a lot of people, they don't really consider, how other people are feeling, and, you do a great job at building trust with your team, because you take time to understand them. You let them know they feel, we see you. You check on I actually listened to something recently that talked about building trust is you have to, the individuals that are with you, they've got to feel like you understand them, understand their motivations, and, they can trust that, you have their well-being. And I think I can definitely see that they do.
And I'm walking the walk with them.
Yeah,
and
you're
that's
there.
something that's so important to me. At a company I was with before, I kept trying to get pulled away from sales and no, just focus on your role, just focus on your leadership role. And I was like, I can't.
No.
I don't want to. I'm
Yeah.
relatable to agents because I am right there with them going through the ups and downs of the sales
Right.
and, all the crazy changes. Also, I really loved that I would get to, take a luxury listing and invite agents that aspire to sell luxury to come in and show them how to tour a luxury listing. And I think that there's just something to be said about that. And it's funny that you brought that up because one thing that I absolutely, and it's probably my number one thing I love about EXP is that you don't have someone that's paid to tell you how to do something that they've never done themselves.
Yeah.
Mm.
You have agents that are doing things at a high level that are telling you how they failed, how they pulled themselves back up, and how they're killing it now
Yeah.
from experience. So you get to ask
Wow.
them all these questions like during this, when this, and it's them telling you from their personal experience, not just someone reading from a book. And I love that.
Yeah.
Because
That's
I don't
amazing.
know all the things.
Mhm.
I have things I can share for sure, but I don't know all the things, but I want to go to someone that's done it and I want to hear their experience with it. And that's really important to me. And with our group and building the trust, I think we've all probably had at least one job where we know what it's like to just go in and work. And like, they're not
So
going to
true.
ask you, they don't know your kid's name. They don't know anything about you. You're just there to work. How
Mhm.
fun was that? Are we still at that job? Probably not. Right. And again, it's just caring about people. I'm doing real estate too. And I want a fun work environment.
Yeah.
And I think that's two of the reasons why agents move companies.
Mhm.
One, they think that they can do better somewhere else, right? Production. Maybe their numbers aren't, they've hit their ceiling.
Mhm.
Or two, environment, their work environment. It's either not good, not helping, not moving them forward, or it's toxic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And you create a space where the environment's good and they can break ceilings. Right. 'Cause
absolutely.
It's like, I'm doing it. I'm living it with you. And if you need another person that's at this level, then let's go talk to them because they're available to us.
And my goal is
Yeah.
constantly to bring in people that are doing things at a much higher level.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
You don't want
want
to be
to
you don't want to be the top of the top.
No,
way.
no,
Yeah.
no, that I don't want to be the big fish. And that was another thing with EXP too,
Mm.
that I considered is they have a lot of big fish there.
Mhm.
And I want to be a little fish in a big pond. Like that's
Yeah.
great. And so
Yeah.
I want to constantly making sure that I'm surrounding myself and also attracting people that are doing better than me.
It raises your level of thinking to a higher, you're a higher level of thinking, right? You've got to do that or we just get stagnant.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's so good.
And someone's learning from somebody else. Like
Exactly.
somebody's on someone else's shoulders. You know,
Mhm.
they've
Oh, for sure.
they've had to learn from someone. You know, you don't just wake up and be the number one person and
Right.
In the
Yeah.
company.
It didn't happen.
it doesn't happen
There's
overnight.
there's no such thing as
If that does exist,
success.
I'd love to.
Yeah,
I'd love to
I need
figure
one
out how to
more,
do that. Well,
So-
that's really cool. No, I love that. It creates a culture where people are, feel welcome, and they also, teach the person that's under them. It seems like there's an expectation to kind of, share with others and train. And
Oh, for sure.
teach other people.
And sometimes even in our network, there's an agent that's like, well, I don't do as much as you are. Okay, stop saying that because I promise there's something I can learn from you.
Right.
Mm.
And it doesn't have to be, I don't do as much as you. Don't start with that.
Mhm.
I can learn something from you. I promise. You have your
For sure.
experiences. You did a really cool job before you were in real estate. I'm sure that's helped, lead to your success in real estate. So,
Wow.
Well, and I think it's a reminder too of things that you need to do. Right. So sometimes maybe I find that I can forget, and it's a reminder. Oh gosh, yeah, that's right. That person helped me see things and holes in my business that perhaps I just wasn't paying attention to, or I just kind of glossed over. But I'm like, ooh, yeah, I need to take care of that piece. So
Mhm.
that sharpening, right?
Right.
It can come from anywhere at any person at any level. So
yeah, you could have a newer agent that's killing it in open houses. Maybe they've only closed 2 sales, but they're having 50 people at their open houses. What are they doing? And
Mm.
as I mentioned earlier, I'm approaching 40 this year, and I want to be able to, I want to be able to show my agents, hey, this is what I do. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them how to do it. And I want to be able to show them I videos. You
Mhm.
know, I want to go to that 20-year-old that's killing it in videos. What do I need to do? Just start at the
Right.
very beginning.
Yeah.
What do I need to do?
What do I do?
So again, you know, it's not all just about sales. We can all learn from each other, and that's where you get to build community.
Right on.
So true.
Wait,
I love it.
Let's shift into the Raving Fans experience, because Steve and I really appreciate how you have thought through the client experience and celebrating with your client all the way through the process, right? So could you just share with us just some of your ideas on that? That would be great.
Yeah. So my goal at the end of every transaction is not just to get a review. My goal is to have a raving fan for life. And by creating that, it's how can I make this an experience to where they will never allow anyone that they know, that they're friends with, that they're related to ever use any other realtor. And so I'm not just, you know, helping them with a transaction. I'm not just providing a service. I'm providing an experience.
Beautiful.
And my goal is to also let them know by the end of the transaction that I don't just sell houses. You need a plumber. You need anything with the home, anything with local, because we have people moving here from out of state all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've had clients that say, hey, who do you get your hair done with? Where do you go to the spa? That has nothing to do with real estate, but I still want to be their resource.
Yes.
And so that's my goal with every really anyone I talk to. Even if we don't work a transaction together, I want you to know you can reach out, and I want to be your local resource for everything and anything. I also happen to sell houses.
I also sell houses.
Yes, I do sell houses too. But it's just thinking about them. You know, what do people like celebrating themselves? So I want to celebrate people and let them know that there's milestones that we're going to be celebrating. So throughout the transaction, there's different points, right? As we know. So it could be when you get your contract, whether it's a buyer or a seller, when you go into escrow, that's a win. That's a celebration.
Yeah. It's a milestone.
What are we doing to celebrate it? Right.
Right.
But at the beginning, you know, I have them fill out a client questionnaire. So I have all this information before we start looking at houses or before I list their house. And it's questions like, what's your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite, candy? What's your favorite hobby? What do you enjoy doing? What are your pets' names? How old are your kids? Favorite store to shop at? Things like that. So I've got all these questions that are about themselves that they get to me. So throughout the transaction, when there's a win, we're going to celebrate. And I have that already. I have that information available of where they like to shop, what they like to eat, what they like to drink, what they do for fun. And so, I can bring that in at any time. Yeah. And then, of course, there's, appraisal. We are clear to close. Every time there's a win, there's something that we can do. And I think oftentimes clients get burnt out, right, throughout the transaction.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, especially if we fall out of contract, which we've seen quite a bit.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, we're doing this again. Still celebrate those wins. So I don't wait till we get to the closing table. In fact, I very rarely bring a gift to the closing table. Every now and then I'll bring something, but I very rarely bring something to the closing table because I'm going to, one, not give them something else to have to move because chances are they're about to move, right? And two, I want to follow up with them in a few weeks. How's everything going? What can I help you with? Don't forget that homestead exemption. Don't forget to do so I'm following up with them on all those things, and it gives me an opportunity to stop by, drop off a gift, see how they're doing, see if they're getting settled. And then I also like to host housewarming parties for my clients. So
that's amazing. I think it sounds like it's so, like you do it effortlessly, but there's so much intention.
So much trial and error.
Thing. Yeah. Like I'm sure there was trial and error. Like that's a lot of information for each transaction. I mean, like little gifts here and there, like, I guess for the person that, is kind of getting into that world, like how do you recommend like even starting doing that? I mean, is it like little thing?
You've got to be very strict with your calendar.
Okay.
All of the contract dates have to go in your calendar, and you have to always look ahead. So how will I know, when their option period is over if I don't have it in my calendar? Have alerts on your calendar. I have an amazing transaction coordinator. So she not only puts all those dates in my calendar and it alerts me, she's also like, hey, the closing date's approaching. You may want to go get this for them or go get that
Right.
for them or check this or check that. And then also following the closing, I get alerts. It's been 1 month since they closed. It's been 2 months since they closed. It's been 6 months since they closed. So I'm getting these alerts that remind me to check in. Hey, happy 6-month anniversary in your new home. How are
Wow.
things going?
So you're getting those reminders. You set up those reminders
Yeah.
from the beginning.
Mhm.
So you have little, like it'll say, hey, just at the 1 month. So then you just call them or drop
repeats
by.
every month on your Google calendars. What I use, you can make it repeat every month. You can make their their home anniversary of when they closed repeat every year,
Wow.
and so then it's already in your calendar.
Wow.
How is that translated into, more business or like more referral opportunities?
Yeah.
Showing people you care.
Mm.
Yeah.
Everyone knows a salesperson.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everybody knows a real estate agent,
Mhm.
right? Yeah. No, 10. Easy.
Hmm.
Why you is, I guess, the question that ends up popping up. So,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not just looking for someone to do a transaction with. I'm
Yeah.
building relationships with people.
nice.
And I'm checking in with them. And, especially when we had the freeze, Harvey, when we have a lot of stuff going on here, don't we?
Oh, we do.
When we,
I think there's another cold front coming next week. Or
We'll
something
see.
like
Right.
so, and whenever we have a freeze, I do my care calls. We have a lot, that they're going to get taken care of. That's a perk of being one of my clients.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
All right.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Natasha, last question, just as we kind of wrap things up today on the podcast. We always love to give this as a hypothetical question, but this is actually going to be a real thing that you're going to be doing. So you're going to be speaking at a conference pretty soon. What's the conference called?
Open Book.
Open
Right.
Book. Okay. So what is Open Book Conference?
So Open Book is on March 7th at the Improv, and it is where they're having agents that are specializing in something that they do really well
Okay.
come out and talk to hundreds of other agents.
Okay.
So it's by agents for agents.
I love it.
To speak on something that they're doing at a high level and share with everyone how they did it, what they're doing, and I'm excited about it.
That's so cool. So we got to hear, one, tell us your specialty, and then also just maybe give us like two main kind of words of wisdom for someone that wants to get into this type of specialty.
Sure. So I'll be speaking on working with a luxury agent in Houston. We have
Okay.
professional sports. So, we have pretty much everything except for hockey. I would love to see us get hockey back, but
That'd be awesome.
so we get an opportunity to work with professional athletes, and how do you work with the high-end client, the luxury client, maybe someone that's well known. What contracts, who are you dealing with? So I'll be speaking specifically on, an NDA, working with their agent, how you're more than likely not going to see the client very much. And they don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, it's so-and-so, or
Get
if
a
you're
selfie.
Be cool.
right.
Be cool.
Or if you're, showing luxury properties, don't be gawking with the clients. They don't want, it's what they're looking at to make their home. So if you're
Mhm.
going, oh my God, this is gorgeous,
Right.
and it's just a lot of things like that. Also, what do you do differently when you're working with the luxury client than you would with your average sales home client? As much as we would, love to say, well, I treat all my clients the same, it is different. It is a completely different ball game. And what are you doing differently? How are you showing up differently? What are you providing them, and just different services that you're providing for them and how you handle things. And so, I've had people I pick up on private planes and making sure the car is clean, making sure the car is washed, making sure that you have everything set out. And I've had an athlete that said his coach wanted to come right along to make sure that the house was close proximity to the stadium. And so just things like that. So I'm going to share some of
Wow.
my stories.
Okay.
I do want to write a book at some point in my life about my experiences, because it's been fun. And a lot of
Yeah.
things, I can't share because I signed contracts that I can't share. But some things I do, and I think it'll just be fun. Some
Wow.
things will shock some people.
Right.
And
look
I've
forward to
fallen
this
down the
book.
stairs a few times when showing houses, and things happen.
I love
Wow. Well, I love it. I think
Mhm.
for the person that wants to, get into the luxury space or, manage a team or create raving fans, we're going to put all your information below, so people can reach out to you just to, be interacting with you as a resource and to, potentially connect with the Integrity Network.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming.
Yeah.
We had a great time just kind of hearing about your experience. And also I know the listeners, they have a lot that they can, kind of just dig deeper into, look at their processes as something that I can create a raving fans experience that can create clients for life. So thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
See you next time.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of Real Estate podcast. If you found this episode thought-provoking and helpful, do us a favor and share it with 2 of your friends. Also, feel free to leave any comments or reviews. And if you want to learn more about the Mortgage Mike Group, reach out. We'd love to connect.